episode 35 of Waxing On with R&J. We're back. I'm Jake Jackson, and this is Rich Jackson. And for today's episode, we're going to do a little bit of a themed episode for you, and we're going to do our top 5 album openers in our collection. This isn't our top 5 albumers of all time. This is just stuff that we have in our collection. Let's get right to it, and I'll start it off for us in no order. I'm going to go with the 1988 album that just celebrated an anniversary last month, and that is Van Halen's OU812. That's on cassette. I also have it on CD, and I also have it on the
you have all formats.
The box set that was released in 2023, and here's the vinyl. There's the vinyl for you. All the Sammy years on the box set. But the track I'm going to be talking about is Mine All Mine. It's an absolute perfect start to an album. I love it. I cannot believe it was not released as a single. Sammy's lyrics are on point. Eddie's keyboard playing and his solo is great, and the riffing in between. Michael Anthony, of course, his bass is rocking, and background vocals, and then Alex Van Halen's one of the greatest rock and roll drummers of all time.
Solid.
Phenomenal opener, and that is Van Halen, Mine All Mine, off of OU812 from 1988. And my next one is, I had to pick this. I only have it on CD for some reason. I need to get it on vinyl, and that is 1994, self-titled, the first Korn record, Blind. I mean, literally one of the most iconic metal tracks, rock tracks of all time. They literally created a genre of music. To me, one of the most influential bands of the last 30 years. And this track is just, I could not choose it. So Blind, Korn off the first record. And if you have never heard Korn or the first album, I don't know what Patrick Starr or Living Under a Rock, but check it out. And then my third pick is also only on CD. I don't think there's ever been an official vinyl release, which there may be one coming soon, because the album before that is getting released on vinyl on Death Wish, and that is the third LP from one and only Bridgeport, Connecticut hardcore legends, Hatebreed, with their third record, The Rise of Brutality. The first track, Tear It Down, an absolute banger. Which, if you're a Hatebreed fan, Tear It Down, the last track from Perseverance, the album before that, the outro, the last track, is the beginning of Tear It Down. It's like a part of Tear It Down, and then on Rise of Brutality, the whole song is Tear It Down. And on Perseverance, it's called Outro, and it's like 30 seconds of Tear It Down.
That's amazing. I love that little bits. Just like little connecting things.
And also, they released Perseverance in 2002, and then 2003, they released this son of a bitch. Like, that is some, incredible right there. So, Hatebreed, Tear It Down, The Rise of Brutality. And then here are my other vinyl, 2 records. Not my favorite album of this band, but I think it's their best opener, and that is the 1984 album from Kiss, Animalize, I've Had Enough, Into the Fire, an absolute ripper of an opener track, and it heavy as hell, perfect 80s metal song. If you have never listened, if you only like the first 6 Kiss albums, the Makeup 70s years, I highly suggest that you start at Lick It Up and go all the way to Revenge. Even Carnival of Souls, really lick it up to Revenge. But this song, I've Had Enough, Into the Fire, off Animalize, 1984. You got the back cover of the fellas there. The only album to feature Mark St. John on guitar. Really good stuff.
He played on the whole album, right?
I don't know if he played on the whole album, because I want to say Bruce Kulick maybe played, who was the guitar player after Mark St. John, played on a couple tracks, but don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But I know he only played like a couple shows, and then Bruce Kulick, he had like some sort of really bad hand arthritis.
Yeah, he couldn't play anymore or something like that. I was reading something on it when I got into that album.
Yeah, it's really good, and it has some of Gene's finest lyrics. Like, go listen to the song "Burn, Bitch, Burn." Something about putting his log in your fireplace or something.
Yeah.
Really, just poetic stuff.
Speaking, Gene.
And then here, this is kind of like a different genre, but just like the pinnacle of the genre of the Korn record. And I have to go with Dumpweed off Enema of the State by Blink-182, 1999. To me, the greatest pop punk album ever made. Iconic opener. If you love Blink, if you love pop punk, you know Dumpweed. And if you don't know pop punk or Blink, what are you waiting for? This is the #1 album to start with. So Blink-182, Dumpweed off of Enema of the State from 1999, which just celebrated its 26th birthday.
Whew.
99, June 1st, 1999. And I listening to Mark Hoppus's audiobook, Fahrenheit 182, which is a great listen. I believe they were playing a show in St. Louis the day Enema of the State was released. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about that.
That's pretty cool.
Wild.
So
making me really feel old, but 26 years ago. I remember like the premiere of the first single off of that. I can't remember the first single.
I think it was All the Small Things.
Yeah.
Those are my 5 picks. I flew through those, but those are my favorite 5 album openers in my collection. And yes, if I had Satisfaction by Hatebreed, it would be Empty Promises would be on there. But for some reason, I know it sounds like a poser. I don't have that on vinyl or CD. So
some things are hard to find sometimes.
Yes, I just had never owned it. So, but those are my 5 picks.
All right.
What you got?
Move on to mine. Okay, we'll go with. Okay, I'll go with the first. Actually, title track, first track off of Symbolic by Death, the 6th studio album released in 1995 on Roadrunner. But go with just Symbolic. The title track is absolutely amazing. That riff in this is iconic. It's memorable. It sets the whole tone for this record. It rolls. Yeah. So that's my number 1. They reissued it. It hasn't been up. Like that's the one that hasn't been released into Relapse to go into the catalog. So hopefully one day Roadrunner will let that go and it'll get put in there. Hope so. Yeah. Rules. Next one we'll go with one of my favorites is Immortal Rights off of Altars of Madness, the debut album by Morbid Angel, released in like sometime in May 1989. The way that it comes in, it like plays like that opening riff, but backwards. And it's kind of chaos, just the way it's going in, and then all of a sudden just that one big snare hit, and then just like kicks into that killer riff that Trey's playing. Absolutely brutal, awesome, really, really sets this album up for amazing, brutal awesomeness. And I also, that came in volume 1.
Another box set. 2 box sets in one for you today.
Yeah. The Earache finally released this, and soon they'll be doing a volume 2. I got this early and was able to get the signature, like the autographs. It came like a full authenticity thing signed by Trey, Pete, and David. So super cool. Really cool. So I've got the box set and I have their signatures, which is pretty dope. From there, we'll go with Peter Gabriel. So Red Rain.
Love it.
Amazing song. I was not. I never really listened to Peter Gabriel that much, but then we were in a record store one time and it was
Joe's
playing.
In South County Mall.
And you're just like, I got to find the CD, and you found it. We came back here, listened to it, and Red Rain just blows me away. It's amazing. It's an amazing, amazing song. Every bit of that. The bass lines are thick. They're hitting. The keys going on in that. The dun, like
yeah.
And his melodies in Red Rain are
love it.
So
perfect
good.
Opener. Perfect record.
Yes.
There's always been that rumor that it's Eddie Van Halen's last record he loved or favorite record. Like, so it's that good. So
Peter Gabriel. So Red Rain. Great opener. All right.
Here's another classic right here.
Another classic. I mean, Black Sabbath has a ton of fantastic openers. I mean, Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath off of Black Sabbath. Yeah. Great. But I feel like Sabotage is really slept on, and it opens up with Hole in the Sky. And good golly, like that is a ripping track. That makes me feel like I could ride a Harley. Like, I love it. Like, just going down like a big, like
the Razor Evil Invaders.
Yeah. You know. Oh,
Chopper.
It's that. Oh, like Pantera has a really good cover of it too. Also, if you haven't heard that, it's awesome. But yeah, definitely. Hole in the Sky.
Black Sabbath.
And last here we have
another iconic album cover.
One of the most important records to me, Jane Doe by Converge, opens up with Concubine. Absolutely just bonkers madness. Just going in with this like dissonant, and then just like the floodgates open and it's just chaos for a minute, and I think it's like a minute 20 seconds or something like that. But just everything that they do in that minute is just brilliant with heavy music. I was in like a music study class in college, and we had to pick like a couple tracks to throw in, like a couple like videos to show the class of like.
Was this Tony Gann's class at Mac?
No, that was the film guy. This was like the music dude.
Okay,
And
Kevin White.
maybe it was
Mr.
Kevin
White.
White. It may have been Kevin White. But I just remember I showed a performance of Concubine, and then I think Botch or something like that. And he was not into it. But I remember after I showed him Concubine and the class Concubine, he was like, I don't understand any of that, but that drummer is very talented. Absolutely. And I was like,
Ben Kohler.
Ben Kohler. Yeah.
Great follow on Instagram and Twitter as well.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And hopefully this year we got a new Converge record. But yeah, Concubine is just awesome.
I mean, also, I'd be a rich man for every time I saw that logo on a jacket at a show.
Mm-hmm. Jacket, T-shirt.
The Jane Doe, that is
hoodie,
iconic.
back patch.
Literally one of the most iconic album covers of all time, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Especially of the last 25 years.
I mean, that started it all for me. So I can't. That's out of all these, number one, Concubine.
Would you like to know my two pick? Because now you got me on that for the. I did the same thing in class. We had to pick two songs.
Yeah.
Mine was "Can't Swim," "Stranger."
Okay.
And Billy Idol's "Eyes Without a Face." No, not "Eyes." "Flesh for Fantasy." Off Rebel Yell. So those are my two picks: Billy Idol and "Can't Swim."
That's an odd combination, but that's fantastic.
I wanted to go like both spectrums of punk.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do. So we went down memory lane right there. And so Tony Gans is like, "Oh, so a little bit of screamo." I was like, "I didn't know Can't Swim was screamo, but okay."
Well, a 60-year-old film teacher.
Legend,
I mean, he's amazing. One of the wildest experiences of my life was in his class, but I'm not going to speak on that.
Yeah, but those were our album openers, and as of always at this point, we like to talk about recent shows that we've been to and upcoming shows. Since we haven't done an episode since Record Store Day in April, so we had LDB Fest in late April, and that was incredible.
Oh, great time! Great time. 2 days.
With Blake Worley, fellow waxing member, and Barrett of the ATI podcast. Incredible 2-day festival in Louisville, Kentucky. Saw so many great bands. Never Ending Game, Missing Link, Haywire, which Haywire had the set of LDB, hands down.
Blew everything out of the water. Indication was really good too.
Indication, who were, by the way,
yeah.
some lore here. They were our next door, what do you call, roomie? Or
neighbors.
Neighbors at the hotel. We were in the elevator, had breakfast in the same hotel, and we talked to them, we chatted with them in the elevator. It was a great time. Great band. I'm glad. It was awesome to be able to see them. I think it was those first shows that weekend in America, right?
Yeah, I think they did like 4 or 5 shows.
Yeah,
I believe
that was awesome.
Yeah, and then their guitar player is touring. It may currently be. I can't remember how long Cruelty's run is, but he's touring with Cruelty right now. So that's
dope. Saw Super Heaven. There was a million.
Bad Beat,
God's Hate, Holy Blade. There's so many.
Did you say Missing Link?
Missing Link.
You had Missing Link. Combust.
Peeling Flesh.
Peeling Flesh was great. Oh, Big Ass Truck.
Which, by the way, Big Ass Truck opened up with Driven by Suffering by Hatebreed, the last track off of Satisfaction, which was incredible.
What an opener! What a!
I was already a fan, but I'm like cemented as a fan because of that. And then that was LDB. We had a great time. And then early May, I went to a show by myself, May 2nd, at the Sinkhole, Fourth Crusade booking show, and that was, I don't want to butcher the name, Chlamydia, not
Chlamydia,
but it's Calamity. Calamity or...
Oh, no, we're really sorry.
No, we're really sorry. They were awesome. And then we saw Javelin, X Threat X, and actually their very first show, St. Louis hardcore band, Absolute Power Force, I believe is their name. They were awesome.
Okay. Were they hardcore?
Yeah, a hardcore band. It was their first show. They even covered Title Fight. Also, that Calamity Band
Yeah.
covered Puritan by Hatebreed off of Satisfaction. So that was really cool to see. That was May 2nd. And then
we went to go see, I can't remember the exact date, Ritual Fog,
yes.
which ruled. They absolutely destroyed it, Memphis boys.
Oh, I forgot to say Open Casket on that May 2nd show.
Oh, yeah.
Which I got you a cassette or LP. Yeah.
I got it. Oh, it's tucked down. Oh, man, I didn't have it out there facing. Okay.
I forgot. Sorry, Open Casket. But
Open Casket is absolutely amazing.
Yes.
Like, they're killing it right now.
And I told him when he asked me what color tape, I said, surprise me.
Yeah, and it's beautiful purple tape. But then, Ritual Fog, Gordon Brace played. Gordon Brace ruled on Iron Fortress Records. Love y'all. And Rosary.
Yep. Rosary, and there was another St. Louis band.
Rosary was good too. I think they were all Rosary and Ritual Fog were both from Memphis, I believe.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I can't remember what band opened though. It was like their first. Was it their first show?
The very first band was from St. Louis.
Yeah, it was like
I can't remember their name. Forgive me, but we were there. Maybe
Yeah,
it was Labor Day week. It was Memorial Weekend,
Mhm.
Sunday, and then May 14th. One of the greatest, best live performances, coolest shows I've ever seen. Good friend of the show, Asher Roth, former guest as well, on his new dessert tour at the City Winery.
With that cool quote, what do you mean, yo? Heard as your Lily, he ain't talking about me, though. Yes, I am, yo, you call yourself a man, but it ain't about the money, it's about what you stand for. This is for my people who can't afford Pampers. Wake up in the morning, got my clothes out that hamper.
You talk about one of the most unique shows I have ever seen. He talked about his entire career, his journey. It went through like all of his catalog. It was a great sit down, cool vibe. Got to shout out his band, incredible. And then literally the next day after that, Blake Worley and I have went to Haywire again at Platypus, which Haywire is becoming my favorite current new hardcore band.
St. Louis hardcore! You say all day, every day! St. Louis hardcore! All day, every day!
Besides Neverending Game, they are incredible. They are going to keep doing great things, and I really think they're just going to keep going up and up.
Yeah.
And then May 21st, I saw Whispers. God Forgive Me. There was another St. Louis hardcore band. I forgot their name.
Oh man, we're fucking up there.
And then Direct Measure.
They followed us and everything.
They followed us on Waxing. I appreciate it. And they liked the Agnostic Front, another voice record, which was cool. They commented. And, of course, headlining Speed. Incredible. So those were some of the recent shows that I have attended. And now we're going to talk about some upcoming shows that are up in June and July.
Yep. St. Louis has got some really good shows coming up soon.
And as of this recording, June 14th, June 20th, myself, Adam Skinner, and potentially Blake Worley.
And maybe me.
Maybe Brother Ridge will be at Wes Hoffman at Platypus, which he stated it and possibly may be their last St. Louis show of the year. So show up for that. And June 28th, a weekend after that, in Afton, Missouri, come to the Almost Warped Tour. Bunch of tribute Warped Tour style bands will be doing sets all throughout the day, and I want to just take the moment to announce Driveway Anthem Records is something that myself and Keith Hafner of the Simple Story, former guest, and Downswinging are a part of here in San Francisco County. We're about an hour south of St. Louis, so we're really trying to start something here and put out records and demo tapes, CDs, merch, our album reviews, zines for bands, and really try to start something here again in Farmington, Missouri, in the St. Francis County area.
Yes.
Because it used to be beautiful. It
was amazing.
And there is potential, and we're trying to eventually the goal is to bring St. Louis bands,
down here,
out of state bands here. Again, that is the goal.
Because
there's the logo. There's one of our hats. So we will have some merch June 28th at the Almost Warped Tour, and we're also working on putting out some band stuff soon and a zine. And I got an album review for the new Gridiron Coven on the website, so look out for that. And that's June 28th.
Good record too.
Out. That's one of the best for me. And then July 18th, we have Direct Measures record release show with Squint,
Like Heaven,
Volition, and who else?
Vulgarity.
Vulgarity
is playing.
at Off Broadway, right?
Yes, off Broadway.
Off Broadway.
That's gonna be so good.
Ripper. It's
dude.
a Friday night. You got to show out for that.
Off Broadway's got a good stage too.
Yes,
so.
absolutely. And they might like Speed and Whispers did their show with the lights on. So maybe this one, another hardcore show, maybe it'll be with the lights on. We'll see.
Yeah, how'd they take to diving at Speed?
Oh, everybody went nuts.
So they're kind of loosening up from that.
Well, the Speed is the biggest show I've ever seen attendance wise at all. Literally,
Yeah.
It was packed as it's like sardines in there, So
That was my wedding anniversary, so I didn't get to make that one.
amazing. And Speed. Also, what I love about Speed is that vocalist Jen, I think that is his name. Barrett, cut that out if I got that wrong. He rocks whatever city he's in. He rocks the sports team's hat. He's wearing a St. Louis Blues hat again.
Nice.
And also great about that show is that May 21st, 2025, I saw Speed at Off Broadway headlining. May 21st, 2024, I saw them open for Knocked Loose at the pageant. So they were in St. Louis literally
a year apart. That's fantastic,
Yep.
dude. Hell yeah.
That's July 18th. July 19th at Pops is The Last Stanza, The Cinema Story, The Stars Go Out, I Like Snaps, and Alex Huck, I think is the name. I could be wrong.
Okay.
Playing at Pops. Come out for that. That's on a Saturday. And
then what we got? July 25th.
Coalesce.
Oh, I gotta be there. We got Coalesce. We got Fortunate Son, recent guest on ATI podcast. Blight Future's also playing. It's gonna be at the Platypus. Originally, it was at Blueberry Hill at the Duck Room, but little fire situation.
Yeah, I was
so
gonna say,
we're
yeah.
moved over to the Platypus, which is a amazing place. It's gonna be a good show. Definitely going to be there for that. That Coalesce is a big band for me. And
I got you their shirt at Furnace Fest. They were a Furnace Fest band.
Oh, and I love that shirt. It's a good shirt. But yeah, but Fortunate Son they're doing fantastic things. Just loud ass rock and roll. I love every bit of it. They're also going to be opening up for I Hate God and Crowbar in August. We'll talk more about that later.
We'll talk. August and September is loaded too, but we're going to talk about. We're planning on doing another episode before then. So
yeah. And
then also, I forgot to mention on July 4th weekend, I'm going to Nashville with my good friend Garrett Tamir. I'm all about live music. Especially I love the punk, hardcore, metal, rock stuff. That is what I'm mostly into. Hip hop, of course. I even like going to country shows. But I'm going to see a rapper, artist, singer, songwriter that I'm not really familiar with, but I'm going for the experience. I'm going to see
that's cool.
In Nashville, Tennessee. I'm going to see Mike Stud. He goes by Mike now. He is a rapper that was formerly known as Mike Stud. He was a Duke baseball pitcher and then became a rapper.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And he's good friends with Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback.
Yeah.
So he's having a show in Nashville. So I'm just he's and he was gonna go by himself, and I was like, dude, don't go by yourself. Fuck, it's 4th of July weekend. Nashville is one of my favorite cities. Let's go fucking party and watch Mike. He goes by Mike, but it was Mike Stud back in the day. So that's on July 5th, Saturday, and then
on July 21st. Oh yeah, that's before Coalesce. The mighty Blood Incantation.
Best metal record of last year, easily.
I can't wait. Blood Incantation is coming to the Delmar Hall with Crowless. And buddy, I can't wait for you to see Crowless. That's some
I'm excited.
Wild black metal.
I'm down for whatever.
It's gonna be good. So this is just a heavy hitting year for shows.
Yeah.
And there's probably
I'm so
some
glad
that we're
St.
missing
Louis,
too.
Incredible scene right now, and I'm so glad touring bands and artists are really May was such a tough month. We live an hour south of St. Louis, and it was we had to say no to stuff. I just literally financially could not do it, and it sucked that I had to miss out on Pain of Truth and Tsunami and Harm's Way with Jarhead Fertilizer,
Yeah.
and Cruelty, and just so many cool shows that happened in
I know,
May.
yeah. I had to miss Asher Roth because my wife got sick, so I had to
Oh,
man the
good.
ship at home. I
Because
really wanted to
that
see
was
that.
I mean,
I
just
heard
out
that-
of like, wow, it was incredible. And yeah, that's the shows we got coming up for June and
Mhm.
July. There'll be more we'll talk about in August and September, and probably on episode 36, we're going to do another themed episode. I'd say
Yeah,
we'll probably
yeah.
do maybe album closers in
I
our
think that would be a
collection,
good one.
just to follow this one up. And
Then I also have an idea where if anyone who watches these videos, if you got an idea of something you'd like us to see,
Tell us.
to
We'll
show
talk about
off, like, just do it. Just in the comments or hit us up on Instagram.
yes,
Do it.
follow us on Instagram at
Waxing RJ.
RJ, and then follow us on Facebook. We're trying to get that Facebook going as well. Waxing on
Yeah.
with R&J. When I post my record spins, I've been posting the Spotify link and then the link to their merch and their CDs and vinyl in the comments below. So if you like something you hear, check it out on Spotify. Even though we're a physical channel, I just want mostly I want people to listen to new music. And then if you even really like the album streaming, check it out.
Go to
Go to
the
store.
shows. Go to the stores.
Yes.
Yeah.
Catch them on tour, and subscribe to the ATI podcast on YouTube. Barrett Lewis and I of ATI just did a phenomenal reaction to the Turnstile Never Enough record
Yep.
that released last Friday. That, spoiler, may be my album of the year unless Good Charlotte stops playing Tickle Taint with me and they released their album. So Turnstile's #1 for now, which is an incredible record, all jokes aside. But follow the ATI podcast on Instagram and YouTube. And that's episode 35 of Waxing On with R&J. We're back, and we're coming back more with more content. And we'll see you for episode 36.
Yep.
See you later.
Bye.